how's it hanging? So, some time ago, I made a video about Power Rangers and the fact that I've loved it ever since I was a kid and that it's one of my favourite TV shows of all time. But the thing is, during that time, I had not watched a number of Power Rangers series and I kind of made it a goal to watch every single Power Rangers episode that I had literally not watched. I know a lot of people probably watching my videos don't really care too much about Power Rangers, they care more about like Disney and other stuff like that. But I figured this is kind of a milestone for me, I guess you could say. I have now watched every single Power Rangers episode that has come out ever. And I'm so happy about that because the fact that back when I first filmed that last video, I had only watched up to Power Rangers SPD and then I had watched maybe a series or two in between of the most current season. Because of that, I wanted to go back and watch every single episode from a certain point after SPD that I had not watched. I think it was the end of last year I started watching it. I started watching Mystic Force. Now I had watched a couple of episodes of Mystic Force, but I had only like kind of skimmed through the show and never watched all the episodes. Because of that, I said, okay, I'm going to start this season. Mystic Force is actually a really good show. I don't know why I didn't like it back then. I don't know, I think it was just my kind of liking for Power Rangers was kind of waning at the time. Kind of like the way it was with Harry Potter, because at times I didn't really like Harry Potter and it kind of took a while to get back into it. And it's the same with Power Rangers, that I had watched certain seasons of it that I liked more, but I just couldn't get into Mystic Force. But I got really into it and I gotta say I really do like the show. Out of all the Rangers in that show, I think probably my favourite character is probably Vita and Charlie, because I love the yellow and pink Rangers. I know I should probably like the Red Ranger more, but I think that I loved Vita and Charlie more, because I loved Charlie because he was the goofball, very much like me. And also Vita, I loved, she was very unique and she wasn't like every other pink Ranger that you'd see. She wasn't like the prissy one, she wasn't like the one who loved fashion, but she loved like doing DJ stuff and she's very unique among the other pink Rangers that's all in the other series. And of course Charlie, because he was the first Yellow Ranger after Ninja Storm that was male, and I just really like him. Yeah, but I gotta say, I love the Red Ranger, his like the whole story, the fact he was the kid of O'Donna and Leobo, who was the evil guy who was, oh my god, I can't remember half their names right now, but really enjoyed Mystic Force and it's definitely a really good one. I skipped over Operation Overdrive because I remember, like, I watched all of Operation Overdrive when it came out, because I remember I think it was in part of a magazine that I read and I wanted to get into it, and I bought each DVD as it came out each week or month, so I watched all of it on DVD. After that was Jungle Fury. And I did like Jungle Fury. Like, it was another one I watched episodes of, but I had not really got into it. I now watched it and I thought it was really good. I loved each Ranger. And I love the fact it was another Ranger series, which was just 3 Rangers, which was Casey, Lily, and Theo. I love the like Daishi and like the fact that he used to be like a good guy who turned evil. I think we've had that once or twice in the series, but still, there's nothing wrong with that. As a lot of people say, the Morphers was not great. The fact that they were sunglasses and they tapped it to morph into the Ranger form, it was kind of like pretty meh. Especially when the fact that the Wolf Ranger had a wrist morpher but they didn't. I know the Rhino Ranger had this, the Rhino Morpher, which turned from the bracelet into the... I don't know why they decided to make them sunglasses, because like it just doesn't work, and we kind of learned that also a bit from Doctor Who when they decided to make the sonic screwdriver into sonic sunglasses, which was the worst idea ever. I thought Jungle Fury was a good series, and I thought that the finale was really good where they used our beasts to defeat Daishi, and the fact that Jared became good along with Camille, and like I thought that was really good, and the fact that we had like villains that turned into good guys to defeat Daishi, and I thought that all that was really good. And so yeah, Jungle Fury is better than I remember it being. Next series was another one I'd watched only episodes of. It seems like a lot of these shows I only watched episodes of, but I couldn't get into it. RPM. And I don't know why I couldn't get into RPM. I thought RPM was really good. Like when I watched that, it was the fact that it's a different universe. It was the first Power Rangers series based on a different universe where Earth had been like taken out and all the robots had taken over basically, and all that was left was the city of Corinth. I just love that instead, because the fact that instead of just being all like the regular Earth, we had just these Rangers. These were the only Rangers that were available, and they weren't called Power Rangers. Well, they probably were, but she called them Ranger Series Black, Ranger Series Green, with Dr. K. So that's why I kind of liked the way it went, and it had like, again, another 3 Rangers only, had blue, yellow and red, and like each character kind of had their own kind of way of how they got into currents. And like, yeah, the Ranger was this like prissy, like stuck up girl who decided to become more badass later on. And like then we had Flint, the Blue Ranger, which I gotta love. Freaking Blue Ranger in RPM was freaking hilarious, because that one scene where I can't remember the girl's name was, she was like, oh, like,
red is the perfect one, black is the brooding bad boy, green is the clown, and yellow, well, she's the girl. So what are you supposed to be?
I'm Scottish!
Like, oh my god, that one episode where he goes, I'm Scottish! Yes, and also there was one episode of RPM which they literally broke the fourth wall, where they had them questioning why there was explosions happening behind them, and also the fact that why they have to shout their morph sequence thing. I just like, I love that episode, it was so good. The fact is also we had the Black Ranger was para-cyborg inside him that was gonna turn him evil, and I like that. The fact that his sister was also working for the bad guys, but she was kind of brainwashed, so it kind of worked like that. But yeah, it was a good series. Next one was the start of the Disney era, when Disney had taken over the Power Rangers, and that was when Power Rangers started going downhill. Free Samurai season 1 was really good. Okay, it wasn't amazing, I'm not gonna say that, but they started off quite well, but as time went on, like season 2 we could have done without. They could have just added maybe 10 more episodes of season 1 and that would have ended it, but they decided to make it all and just keep going with it. Season 2 is just, it wasn't needed. When they decided to call each second season like Super this, Super that, like Power Rangers, Super Samurai, it was just, you could tell they were running out of ideas. Then came out the one 2-parter series you could say, which was Super, and this was Mega Force. Mega Force, wow. I now see why so many people hate Mega Force and Super Mega Force. Super Mega Force, this is probably going to be a controversial opinion, unpopular, whatever. I thought that Mega Force was the worser series. Worser is not a word, but still. Super Mega Force was better, but only because of all the suits that they kept using for like Legendary mode. They kept on doing Legendary Rangers. That's what kind of made it good for me. Otherwise, it was just kind of pretty meh, not gonna lie. As a lot of people say, the script was out the window, didn't even try. Mega Force, I hate that season. I don't like using the word hate, but it's just, I'm gonna say it, it's my most disliked Power Rangers series because it was so boring. Literally watching that season, nothing happened. Like when the fact that in both seasons, like we had Troy, I think his name was, I can't remember half their names anymore. Like all I remember is Gia because she was in other series. There was like no backstory for him. All that really was for him was he could tell there was this big legendary battle that's gonna happen in the future, and that was never spoken of, like maybe spoke of 2 or 3 times in the 2 seasons, and I thought Troy was pretty much a boring character. So yeah, and it's just the one thing I really hate about a TV series is when they force an agenda on the audience, because literally all Mega Force was them talking about, oh, we're gonna protect the earth, I'm watching this TV show not to like listen to it and talk about like real world issues, like protect the environment. Like, oh come on, villains were in it that were made out of pollution. Oh, that was so bullshit. Every episode it felt like they were kind of talking about, oh, I love the environment, I love the sky, I love this, I love that, we gotta remember to protect the planet. Pink Ranger was boring as hell. Mega Force was like blah. And then of course we're gonna talk about it. Super Mega Force, the legendary battle. Oh my god, it was so boring. Like it lasted like a minute or 2, and compared to the Sentai battle was amazing, which I actually, not gonna lie, I have been watching Gokaiger. I can totally agree. The Gokaiger legendary battle was so much better. After that I had already watched all the other series. Like I already had watched Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge. That was a good season, not gonna lie. Then there was Ninja Steel. It was a good series. Like it wasn't the best, but I still enjoyed watching Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel. The only probably the character I liked the most was Cal, which was the Yellow Ranger, and also I find him really attractive because I really am like attracted to Nico Green because he is very hot. So yeah, Ninja Steel was good. Then came out was Beast Morphers, which was the most current season, which actually technically finished there a while back, but it's premiering right now on Nickelodeon, even though everyone else around the world has seen it, America hasn't. But yeah, like that series was good. I'm so glad that ever since Hasbro got the rights of Power Rangers, they took out the whole Super and kept it just season 2 Beast Morphers. That was it. And Beast Morphers was good. I like the Red Ranger. I think probably my favorite is the Yellow Ranger, because I love the actress who plays the Yellow Ranger. She is so funny. I literally follow her on Instagram and she's hilarious. I freaking love her so much. Her name is Jackie Lewowski or something like that. Probably just butchering her second name, but yeah, I love her so much. She's amazing. I'm very attracted to her. Yeah, and I gotta say, like, me and her, I'm very related to her because she loves like kind of jamming and like dancing and singing in her car, and I totally get that. I actually only finished the last episode of Beast Morphers there like a week or two ago, and I thought it was a really good ending. And I gotta see the crossover episode, it wasn't great. Yeah, it was great to see Jason back, but he was only in it for a short amount of time. What kind of made it not great was the fact that they brought back the Mighty Morphin and Dino Charge Rangers and Dino Thunder, and most of them weren't actually in the suits. Like, none of the Mighty Morphin other than Jason was there. It was just people in suits, and all the Dino Thunder was just people in suits, which I really was sad about because I thought maybe they were going to do better than that. Dino Charge was missing the pink and green Rangers, and the Green Ranger was my favourite. Dino Charge was so it was disappointing for me. Not gonna lie, it could have been so much better. They could have brought back at least more of the actors. Like, there was talks that the Blue and Red Rangers and Dino Thunder was seen filming, but obviously that was all a lie. But it was good enough because the fact that we got to see like the 3 Zords from all the different Dino series, I thought it was really cool to watch. Even though they're all like basically taken from the old series, because clearly I could tell the Mighty Morphin like part where they were inside the Zord was taken from the 90s series because the quality was awful. I'm sorry, but it's just like you could tell it was the 90s. But yeah, it was good. It was alright for the crossover. As I said, they could have used all the Rangers from the previous series. The only ones who would come back if they used it, the second Rangers, was Aisha, Adam. I definitely know Kimberly wouldn't come back because she said that she's done with acting. She only likes being behind the camera. Ninja Steel did so much better with a crossover than these Beast Morphers. Sorry, but it's just, I prefer it. It's like, come on, we got to see the Master Morpher where Tommy used the frickin' Morpher to change into each Ranger. That was so much better. And I know that a lot of people are saying that Tommy's overused, but still, he was badass in that. And the fact that we got to have Rocky back too. Kat as well. She could have been the Pink Ranger, even though she was the Pink Turbo Ranger, but still, come on, we could have just brought back her as the Pink Ranger. But yeah, that is it. I've literally watched every single Power Rangers episode to date, and I know that Dino Fury is coming up next. I'm looking forward to it, but I also don't know what to think about it. Of course I'm going to watch it because it's Power Rangers. The thing is, I've actually started to watch Gokaiger, which was the Sentai version of Super Mega Force, and oh my god, it is 10 times better than the Super Mega Force. I might make another video later on talking about like watching Sentai and stuff, because I'm going to start watching different seasons of Sentai. So yeah, tell me down below if you've watched all the series and what you saw of each one and what's your favourite one. I will see you guys in 2 weeks with another video. Bye! See you later.